Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to the Shrewsbury Biscuit podcast. It's me, Alex Whiteley, again, as always. Used to my voice now. Today I'm joined with, again, for the second time on the show. It was only a short interview I did with him last time, so I'm glad he's got his own feature episode this time. And it's Luke Crump, artist, doodler, you may have seen him on his art on the cover of My Shrewsbury this month. Thank you for joining us, Luke.
Good afternoon, Alex. Yes, no, thanks for having me again. It's good to get a feature slot. It was had a really good time last time with Bloom and Kerry, and sadly Tim, who I don't know if you must have heard. He was.
I made a note to make sure we mentioned Tim. Bless him.
Yeah, no, I just thought we'll mention Tim because I was very sad to hear the passing of Tim. Yeah. But it was it was a really good afternoon, and thanks for having me again to have a chat.
That was an amazing time because I think it was just before the pandemic, actually.
Yeah.
And that was one of the last sort of times we could go out and do things, and it was nice. We had a really good day, actually. Spent a bit of time setting up the studio, and we all sat around that big table, took some great pictures, had some great discussions. And then for Kerry, bless her, she's had, since from that moment, it's just been terrible for her. I do want to get her on the show. I did mention it to her, but then other stuff started happening with the pandemic and flooding and stuff since. So I didn't want to get her on the show, but let's just discuss your misery, because that would have been a very nice show for her. But at the same time, it's more about when you talk about Coleham, the resilience of the people around there. I was talking about it earlier, actually, how despite all the problems in Coleham, people just seem to get together and sort of flourish still. It's incredible.
They do, yeah. And I really admire Kerry. I mean, she's just gone through so much, hasn't she? You couldn't write it, could you? All the stuff she's been through last year. And but they've got through it, and it does, as you say, show the resilience of Coleham. And it's a kind of a small part of Shrewsbury, but there's just so much, just life and enthusiasm there, and
strength.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. I mean, I think the last time I saw Coleham, that was on the news when they were visiting, with the floods. They were just standing outside one of the pubs, I think, and up to their shins in water. So,
where more dramatic place to go to show the effects of the floods than Coleham, right? Because that's where it all happens. I mean, amongst other places, of course, across the county. So, the goal of this show is I love to step inside the minds of artists, whether they're writers, whether they're musicians, or what's the correct term for your type for your type of artistry? Is it doodler, drawer, cartoonist? Cartoonist.
No, well, yeah, maybe. I mean, I was thinking about this before we started to chat, and at the start of kind of it's a scary word, but career, I was doing more like doodly artwork. Just wasn't really thinking about it much, just having fun, kind of off the cuff stuff. But as the work has progressed, and people like My Shrewsbury Magazine and people like that, they've started to commission me to do serious work, paying the actual money, Alex.
But that's where it's all going. That's where it's all going.
Yeah, which is good. The style has taken on more of a kind of conscious form, I suppose. And there are elements, to doodling. Black and white is quite a common theme in the work. But again, there's thought out kind of composition, I like to think, of pieces. So it's maybe illustrator, artist. Everything, I don't know, maybe don't put a label on it at the moment, but
yeah. Well, I think in 2021 it's crazy to put a label on anything these days, because anybody can be anything they want to be, right?
That's it.
But where does this start for you? I mean, obviously Doodle Boy is very famous in Shrewsbury. I haven't spoke to him yet. He's the Doodle Kid, but he started at a very young age. Was it the same for you? Was it something that you did from a young age and just carried on through?
Yeah, no, definitely. I do think there's some influence from family. My parents, both design and technology teachers.
Oh.
So I had quite an interesting childhood. Thinking about it, I grew up in Belgium from I think the age of about 7 or 8, and then because my parents worked at the same school that I went to, I'd have to kind of hang out in the DT workshops at the end of the day for a few hours. And I got to, just mess around, basically, do, whatever I want. It was a really yeah, really good kind of creative playground with all
It's in
these
your
machines and
DNA,
paints. It
literally.
probably is the amount of sawdust I've probably inhaled as a child. But
Well, when it comes to
no,
design technology, the design part of it, you've got to be spot on, haven't you? So that's a very intricate
it
form of
is.
art.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I was initially, interested in design technology, and I did that at college. Um, But no, just going back to Belgium. So I was there about 8 years, and it was a very relaxed school actually in Belgium. It was a British school, so everyone just
Okay.
spoke English. So I can't speak Dutch. Everyone always asks me, but hello is probably about all I can manage. Yeah, the school was very relaxed. We called teachers by their first names, and there
Oh,
was no
wow.
uniform. And yeah, no, it was really relaxed. And I just always remember kind of really just enjoying art, just looking forward to it. If I saw that on my timetable in the day, I'd be psyched throughout the whole day. Maths, get out of the way. I just tend to yeah,
Does it
draw.
take over your life? Does it like bleed into everything else, every sort of aspect of your life?
Yeah, yeah, it does. Yeah, I mean, probably spent most of the other lessons, yeah, just head down, just scribbling away, pretending to write notes, but just drawing, But yeah, so I was in Belgium about 8 years. Regrettably, too young to experience the fine beers and things like that, and moved back to the UK into a school in Shropshire called the Marches,
Okay,
and
I've heard of them. It's Salisbury, right?
that's Oswestry, yeah. Yeah, my dad was a teacher there, and that was only for 2 years. So just rattling through what I can remember.
No, that's fine.
Yeah, and then it was kind of where to go next. Think, yeah, I think I did an apprenticeship next. What was that after? I can't remember, to be honest. It's all a bit of a creative blur. But after school, yeah, I did an apprenticeship in a design studio.
Wow.
Yeah, I was really lucky to find that. It was I'll just name them. They're called Now Group, and they have since moved from the Oswestry. But yeah, no, it was really really good. I was really thrown in the deep end. I was kind of a junior graphic designer there, doing all sorts, kind of vehicle wraps and massive posters and stuff for the National Trust.
Amazing.
And yeah, yeah, it was really good. But then again, it did kind of make me realize: do I really want to be doing work for? I mean, other people sounds a bit selfish, but it was kind of you don't have much.
Some
Yeah.
people have that though. Some people have the. I mean, I never thought like it's only when I was in my 30s I realized I can make stuff by myself, right? And this is what I do now. A little bit of
Hmm.
graphic design with all my posters, my logos, things like that. You kind of got to do that.
Yeah.
But like for forever, like when I was younger, I just remember being sort of submissive to the fact that yeah, I can just be a cog in the machine. I don't care as long as I get paid, as long as my family survive. I can just do that. I can go and work some mundane job and do what other people tell me to do. But then something clicked inside me, and I was like, no. I've got an ability. I'm going to use it. I'm going to make my own thing. I wish I'd have found that out at your age or even younger. But alas, here I am. This is what I am. So
Yeah.
you know,
It's a massive yeah, kind of learning curve, and it's kind of you start to poke things and things happen, don't they? So
yeah,
yeah, I'm
yeah.
glad I did realize that early on. But at the same time, I did learn loads of useful skills. Dealing with people and
But
Photoshop and all these. Yeah.
your art from a young age, I've seen the guitar and things that you've done. It's very freeform. It's beautiful. Just this roll. Usually, what I've seen these rolling animation that you've made. But whereas this like sort of graphic design is very what's the word, precise. There you go. That's
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
what's it like working when you did do it, graphic design in a place where you're used to just spilling over a page.
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed the sketching elements and coming up with ideas and yeah, as you say, the more freeform
Hmm.
part of it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think I'm quite a particular person, and I think you kind of have to be when you're, working for yourself. You do have to have these structures. So yeah, there's they do bleed into each other a bit, and there's things nowadays that like the iPad Pro, I just invested in a little pencil and Apple Pencil and an iPad. So if there was stuff like that, earlier, that maybe would have made it more interesting. But
so much easier when you just drag a color and drop it into a box, right? I mean, that's
Yeah.
I love designing things. I use Affinity.
Okay.
I don't have enough money for Adobe, but I use
No, I
Affinity,
don't.
and I do something very satisfying about when you sit back and so like I've just redesigned the logo for the biscuit, right? It's very much a play on the original logo, but I just tidied up all the letters and stuff, made it look a bit more modern, and I spent days just messing around with it. And it's simple things like moving the text slightly to the right, or having it centered, or having a line here or having a line there. What we're going to have in the background is going to be transparent, is it going to be these sort of things? But and it is kind of mind numbing for a little bit, but then you sit back and you're like, oh, you made that. That's amazing. It looks great.
Yeah, I got that feeling as well. And it used to be super cool to kind of drive through this town with the design studio and just see things, work around the town, things attached to buildings or cars. And maybe that made me realize that I can influence the real world with creativity and art. So that was it was really good. It was a hard time because there was a lot of difficult people working with, but I got to learn about people.
Well, for USUC, it was a brand new venture. USUC is my other network, my American, my transatlantic thing, and I was making lots of logos. And on my team was Shane Chebsey and Lucy Orchard. Shane Chebsey, who you probably know from Comic Salopia. We put Comic Salopia together. He's a graphic designer, and so I'd make a logo and I'd be like, "Hey guys, I made this thing," and he'd be like, "Nah." Like, you've used all the wrong texts. That line's on there. That color doesn't. You shouldn't use 2 shades of red on here. And I was just be like, just destroy anything I made, which was good. It's good for me.
It is because if you got people just bigging you up all the time, then you're not really learning too much. But
exactly.
I did after that. I went to uni for a year again to thinking the graphic design path, that's where the money is. People need graphic designers as maybe opposed to artists. It's a kind of a real world idea, but it just wasn't the right kind of time in my life, I don't think. It was in London and right next to the O2 Arena, actually. It was a crazy place to live and really interesting, and obviously surrounded by loads of like-minded people, which coming from a small Shropshire village, used to live in Ellesmere.
I imagine that's quite deafening.
And it's weird because although you're kind of surrounded by people and so much happening, you do feel almost a bit more lonely because people are just doing their own thing, heads down, getting on with it. But
I was watching an episode of Always Sunny in Philadelphia the other day, and they moved to the suburbs. So they've gone from the city to the suburbs, and the neighbor comes over and says, "Hello, I'm Wally," or whatever. And it's like, did that guy just speak to me? Did he just look at me and speak to me? Like, because unfortunately, that's kind of the image that you get from living in the big city, isn't it? You go from the friendly Shropshire, "Hey, how's it going?" Don't look at me.
It's one of the things that I generally missed, is just people even just smiling at you in the street. It was. I mean, it did have quite an effect, and I don't really talk about it that much, but on like mental health, and I did get really down in London, and it was. I was in student accommodation, but living alone, so it wasn't great thinking about it, but it was a wake up call to think, oh, what do I actually want? Because sometimes, I don't know, you just kind of go about what should I do? What do people think? What should I? What's the right path? But I didn't really ever stop to think, is this what I actually want to do? So it was a wake up call. So I left uni after 1 year, but it was all, everything has led me up to speaking to you now, so I think it was the right decision.
What you're doing is far more important than coming up the Shrewsbury Biscuit, I have but I agree with you. It's not for everybody. I know a few people that have made huge life changes and done something crazy big, like moving to the other side of the country, and just not really got on with it. And I don't see that as failure. I see that as growth. Because what you've done is you've learned, like you said, you've learned the path you want to go down now. kind of, or what you don't want to go down. I guess is the correct thing.
You should call it the Shrewsbury Therapy Podcast.
Well, we do cover a lot with mental health and stuff because that's what we
Yeah,
do.
no, it's good, yeah, and the artwork has definitely been a great kind of catalyst for that, and opened up a lot of opportunities.
Do your emotions and the way you're feeling at the moment when it comes to mental health sort of affect your art?
Yeah, no, absolutely, they do. And I heard a really great quote from Maggie Hamlin. I think she was basically saying, make your work your best friend. So if you're feeling anxious or tired or depressed or happy or whatever, just make something and it will kind of reflect in that. So I really resonated with that comment by her. And no, it's true. When I look at pieces I've done when I'm a bit kind of down or happier, when there's more energy in a piece, for example, or color, then that is definitely reflected. Yeah.
I think it's really important to even show that, though. I think it's when it comes to emotions, when you're an artist, when you make something, I feel like there's more that you get more out of sort of this showing people what makes you. It's your identity, right?
Yeah, and even making something and posting it online to start with was obviously quite daunting. The whole world can potentially see it, and you are putting yourself out there. But it gets easier with time, doesn't it? As you probably know, it's
yeah. Well, I mean, I consider myself as a bum who talks down a microphone. All right, I don't consider myself as anywhere. I don't have the same amount of talents as you or an author or musicians have, but because all my job is to take you and be like, here's Luke, look, because I admire you. I admire anybody that can do the things that I can't. It's like a superpower. I believe you've got a superpower. But when it comes to art, obviously there are I wouldn't call it, like I said, we don't call them failures, we call them lessons. But when it comes to something that you didn't do so good, something that you've been working hard on, you didn't like it, is it important to delete those things and forget about them, or frame them and put them on a wall?
Well, maybe not frame them, but at the same time, don't delete them. I mean, particularly when I was doing graphic design, I'd delete everything that was terrible, and it was just gone. And my boss would be like, "Where the hell's this gone? You should have kept that. It was really, you could have used that element." But there's I've got loads of sketchbooks of things that are just I don't share everything online. So the reason maybe you're saying, "Oh, you're really talented and stuff." Yeah, but there's loads of stuff I don't show people, and just this stuff I'm not really, doesn't feel kind of right. So there's I mean, but at the same time, what's the comparison? Why do I think they're not great? I don't know. Maybe I'm just comparing.
You may not feel they're great, but somebody might look at them and go, "Oh my God!"
Exactly. Yeah.
That's what art is, right? It's a reflection of yourself.
Yeah, it is subjective. Yeah. So, but no, it's been going really well, and I don't know if you had kind of planned to talk about the whole. I mean, it's got 20 minutes in; it's not come up yet, but the the pandemic and everything like.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's important for us to talk about that because, going from, I guess, London back, and then you're in Cheshire at the moment, right? Is that what you said?
I am, yeah. Controversially, I'm not in Shrewsbury.
It's fine. So, it's fine. You're on My Shrewsbury. It counts. Okay, it counts. And I spoke to you last time in Shrewsbury. It's fine. But how has that been for you? For an artist, I'm always interested to find out what it's like to take an artist and just put them in a box, because that's essentially what the pandemic did.
Yeah. In my bedroom box / studio. It was it was a bit of a bummer, wasn't it? Because I'd had a few kind of interesting things lined up. I was going to do a mural at my old school, and literally just before lockdown. But I I actually got on the wrong bus while I was on my way to the school, so maybe that was a sign. But no, anyway, the whole situation is not changed massively, if I'm honest, because the maybe life of an artist is quite solitary. The work really happens when you are by yourself, maybe, as just sat down slogging away with your cats beside you. But the work itself has actually really picked up. People maybe have time to sit around their home and think, oh, maybe I need something on that wall, or maybe some more disposable income. No one's going on holiday, so there's maybe a bit of influence there. But yeah, it would be nice to be going out and making kind of pieces, and like the cartoon festival didn't happen last year, but it's hopefully next year I'll be looking back on this podcast and thinking, oh, that was a crazy time.
It was, because when we were talking to you last time, we were the cartoon festival wasn't going ahead, then it was going ahead, but it was going it was one of them. And we were talking about what you were going to be doing, because when you're going to go into the Darwin Festival and do like a mural in front of people or something like that. That's what you're going to do, right?
Cartoonist, live art at the Shrewsbury Cartoon Festival. But maybe I don't know if it's postponed, but it would really be good to kind of get back, even if it's, I don't know, could you do distanced? You could probably do distance drawing. I'm sure.
Just stay away from the artist, okay? Don't come anywhere near him. Just let him do his thing, all right? Just say.
That's what people normally do anyway. Yeah.
We've all made plans, haven't we? We've all made plans, and they've all been failed. Not failed. Postponed. Well, I like to call it postponed. There's a party that we can have later on. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. The storm will pass, as they say, and everyone's, I think, learning a lot about themselves, aren't they? And just taking a bit of quiet time to reflect on what's going on. And
what about when the gates open? Like, right, the world's open now. Off you go. And what's that going to be like for you? Is that because I'm a bit anxious? I've got to say, I'm a bit anxious, but I'm excited to get out there. Absolutely. Yeah. But I'm very honest when I say I suffer from social anxiety sometimes. The way I describe it is, I feel like I've spent too long in a shop, and people think I'm a shoplifter, but that's just in general. If I'm walking down the shop, I feel like people are looking at me like, oh, that guy's up to something. I've always felt like that. And when we go into events and stuff, it's not going to be any different, I don't think.
Or you when you walk into a shop and don't buy something, and you walk out and you think, oh god, that must be illegal, I've got to buy something.
My hands are empty.
I feel what you mean. Even with like these masks, it's hard to kind of gauge what people are really doing, isn't it? And I smile at people under my mask, even if they can't see it. So I like to think that it's going to create some kind of when people are able to hug and just talk, and it's gonna be strange, but feels like another.
I mean,
another world. Yeah.
I hope social distancing becomes a regular thing anyway. I've always said that, because there's nothing worse than some urchin bloody breathing down your neck when you're in the co-op or something, in the queue. But at the same time, to be able to sit with your mates and have a beer and go to the cinema with the wife, or take the kid out somewhere, or be part of something with a biscuit, just to be out there, it's nice, because we can get out and about as long as it's within sort of 10 miles. You can do that. But it'd be nice to have that choice. That's the most important thing, isn't it? The choice to be able to go and do what you want to do. And I think that's what we're missing right now. That's where we get our freedoms back, when that happens. It
is. And I feel for you with like a family to kind of entertain and take care of. I mean, I'm just about managing with myself and the dog and everything, but
I've got to say, my kid, 6 years old, he's been the best person to be in lockdown with, because he's so entertaining. He'll be just doing nothing, and he'll just go into a headstand in the middle of the living room and just like entertainment. Wow. That's entertainment.
Free entertainment.
So when it comes to commissions, things like you say, you saw a bump in people sort of wanting to order things from you. How did you manage that? Was that good? Was it a good distraction from lockdown for you, as well as making a bit of coin?
Yes, it was. It kind of meant taking over. I don't know if we're on record, but there's kind of pieces up all over the room that I've got on the go. So I've taken over the house slowly. I don't know if our parents are too happy, but because I've never actually had a proper studio, it's something I really would like to have, kind of to separate that work-life balance. Has always been a bit, when you're working from home, maybe a lot of people are finding that, but the commissions have been really good. I sent pieces to Belgium, Germany, a lot of Europe, but California, some reason, just seems to be a massive hotspot for my pieces, and it'd be nice to join them one day, see where they end up. But Yeah, so I think I worked out maybe about 30 countries as we speak. So it's really, yeah, it's positive to see, and it's something kind of that keeps me occupied. And it's okay to kind of have moments of kind of, yeah, I'm quite introvert and I kind of like to think a lot internally, but the artwork kind of helps to kind of think, okay, leave that for a second. Let's kind of use that
Yeah.
energy on something a bit more productive. So yeah.
I was I was very lucky enough to speak to a very incredible artist called Lance Inkwell. He's
that's a good name for an artist.
yeah, he's amazing. He does all the 2D art. He ended up doing work with Cuphead for Cuphead. He does the 2D
Oh right, yeah,
sort
I love
of,
that. Yeah, I love
and
the
his
style of
work
that.
takes so long. And we had this conversation about the friends and family element. They're like, oh, it's all right, Lance Inkwell will do it, or Luke Crump will do it. Can you just draw me a thing for my thing? And he's kind of like, no. This thing takes 4 hours to draw. I'm sorry, but I can't. Is there an element of that where it's like sometimes you've got to prioritize your work over sort of like the freebies, I guess, like, you know?
Well, yeah, there's the line, isn't there? Everyone's got to eat at the end of the day, but I don't mind doing a few bits and bobs. I just help my sister. I'll do a little shout out for her. She started a new business during lockdown called Kindful Box. The idea is they send out kind of self-care packages through the mail. So it's a really good
Nice.
idea, I thought. And so I did a few bits of design work for that. And but yeah, there's the times where you just have to go one second. I've got this massive list of things I've got to get done. So I'll try my best to help people, but I don't feel too bad if I'm working on something that people are going to pay me for. It's. Yeah, starving artists is a bit of it's a strange concept, isn't it? Because you have got to eat, but at the same time, it's kind of a part of you that you're putting out there and wanting to make.
It's learning to say no as well. I find that really I've had to,
it's a good skill to kind of have, isn't it? But
I mean, there are so many things with me that's going on. The prison's opening again soon. I do a bit of acting work at the prison, and this week they were like, "Oh, we need some work doing with some actors," and I was like, "Oh my god, yes, I've missed this so much." But then I was like, "Oh god, I've got recording commitments," and it's kind of like, "Oh, what do you do? The thing you enjoy that maybe I mean, I love my prison people, but what I'm doing right now with the biscuit is very important as well." So it's kind of like I have had to learn to say, I'm really sorry, I can't do it, because you've got to make those decisions. And it's a shame. Really, it's a shame.
No, it's all about the balance. But no, it does take up a lot of. I'm kind of on the beginning of my career, as I say, but the balance is kind of a bit difficult sometimes. I do kind of enjoy what I do, so I don't really see it as hard work. I can happily draw till 2-3 a.m. or paint or whatever it is. So. Feel the repercussions next day. But
how do you deal with the scheduling thing? Because obviously you can take on a million commissions and you'll be like, oh god, I haven't got time to do it. What have I done that for? Has that happened, or is it you good at time management?
I would say I'm not the best, but I mean that's what deadlines are for. So I do kind of like to leave stuff till the last the last moment. But I've got some. It's annoying I can't always share what I'm doing because I've got really interesting things at the moment happening. But they're kind of gifts, or people don't want me to announce it until they're released.
Yeah.
Not that I'm trying to sound really mysterious, but it's I've always got some interesting stuff on. So it's every day I wake up and go downstairs. My dad's like, "Oh, what's been going on in the art world? Have you sold anything today, or any commissions?"
Yes, Dad. I have. Okay.
I can pay the rent.
Oh, nice.
So yeah.
What's the most common thing people ask for?
It's probably either just a big crazy piece for the wall, or shoes as well. Just customized shoes. I've got kind of 4 or 5 on the go at the moment, and
wow.
Yeah, it's again just social media is really helping with that, and I've never had to pay for kind of advertising, and it's just word of mouth. So I don't know how people are finding me. It's just sharing myself, and people like it and they get in touch.
How do you make money off customizing shoes? Do people send you the shoes, or do you have to go out and buy them, do them, and send them away?
No. Generally, people just want they buy the shoe, and I source it. They
Right.
they don't really tend to get many used smelly shoes, thankfully. But
My friend was this is a really odd one to say. Tom Bruno, my co-host for What's the Difference, we spoke to Darren Miller, who's a singer from a band called CKY back in the day, and they'd released a trainer shoe, sneaker with their audience just on the side. It was just a picture, bam, put it on there, and
okay,
he's
yeah.
in that picture. He's on that shoe, and he's got it on his shelf. He's never worn it. It's just got this shoe with him, like
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. Some people say, "Oh, this is going to be an art piece," because people love their shoes. I think my old boss had about nearly 300 pairs of Adidas shoes. So there's people like that. But it's a crazy, crazy world, the shoe world. But at the same time, I do also get quite a few album covers or like single covers, and I do a few bits with musicians. A guy called 23 Odd Cats, who's based in New York. He's really, really good. And I've been working with him for about a year. So I always have tunes on, when I'm working. Just not really like pop music or things with voices in, but just instrumentals of like movies, like Interstellar.
Right.
I like the soundtrack for that. But
My friend likes the sound, the music for Inception. The music
Inception,
behind,
that's
great soundtrack.
Hans Zimmer. He's a great composer, isn't he? But
Yeah.
I can't remember what we're talking about now.
Well, is music a great tool for you then for getting? Can you do it with or without? Do you perform better with music or better without music? What's it like that?
Probably with, yeah. Although if I'm working and I realise that I've not got any music on, that means I'm really kind of in the zone, and I
Yeah.
literally could be starving, or there could be a fire down the corridor. But if I'm in that zone,
You need to get out the building. Hold on. Let me do this.
yeah. But maybe music kind of subconsciously gets me somewhere different. I'm not sure, but there's a genre for everything. So
It really is.
yeah.
I think music and me are symbiotic. Absolutely.
Yes. Yeah.
When I'm writing emails, like this morning, I left my emails for like 3 days. So anybody that's had any late emails off me, here's why. Okay, because I work nights, so we work 3 night shifts in a run, 13-hour shifts. And this week, I've been having a problem with fatigue. I can't understand it. I probably personal to share on the podcast, but I don't care. I've been sleeping my normal hours, and sleep hasn't been working. So I wake up and I feel like I haven't been asleep. So I'm absolutely exhausted, right? So it's been a really hard week. So I just left my emails build up for a few days. And this morning I was like, right, I'm feeling a bit better. Headphones on, blast some music. What was I listening to? Frank Miller and the Rattlesnakes. Bam. Frank Carter, should I say, on the Rattlesnakes. Bam. Put that on. Type. Done. And that's the music that got me through that, It's good.
Yeah, no, that's true, Alex, because you do sometimes just need that little break. It feels kind of, maybe in this day and age, that taking some time to slow down a bit you should feel guilty about that. But I think it is the opposite. If I don't upload to whatever Instagram for a few days, I don't feel like, oh my God, everyone's going to unfollow me. It's going to be a carnage. Everyone's asking where I am. But it's, just, I don't really like to put too much pressure on that, myself. But, yeah. Well, I'm glad you're feeling better.
I am. Yeah, I'm feeling up. As I do this sometimes, I've always said I have like a 3 weeks on, 1 week just. I always call it a day. Don't be freaked out by this. I say it all the time on the show. It's a day in my pants, right? Where I just do nothing. I don't get dressed.
Yeah.
I sit there and I just slob about, right? So I need that time. And then all of a sudden it's back, and oh my God, the Instagram's just exploded. Or so, you can tell when I'm on it and when I'm not. But I feel like I'm good. I'm very grateful for the support I have around me. I got the Biscuiteers, I got my wife, I got the listeners, the people that really appreciate the biscuit, because Shrewsbury is a very special place to that. When it comes to you and your progression, obviously you have been very supportive of your community, but your community has also been sort of supportive of you too. What would you say about young artists growing up, say in Shropshire, Shrewsbury, Shropshire, wherever it is, and the support networks we've got around here? Do you think there's a sufficient amount of support around here, or do you think there could be a little bit more?
It is difficult for me to put myself in the shoes, because I didn't really grow up in Shrewsbury. I just kind of did my own thing. But it is kind of Yeah, social media is a great tool, and I've always got kind of kids asking me what they think of this or follow me back on my
Mm,
account. So it's I'm always kind of supportive. If people want to ask me advice,
yeah.
what pens do I use? That's the most question I get every day. But I don't mind. I don't
What
mind.
pens do you
Giving.
use? I'm
Well, I'm not sponsored by them yet, so maybe I shouldn't. I use
Nah.
a mixture, yeah, Sharpies, Poscas, but yeah. But as we say, places like Bloom are great, for starting kids' interest
Yeah.
in the creative world. The Hive as well. I've
I've just spoke to them. I've just
you
interviewed them
spoke to
now.
them, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, I
Yeah.
was reading about their mural. Actually, they've got a big wall that needs filling up. So maybe if there's any young people listening who are interested in just having a go, then
Yeah.
yeah, apply to
You
their
should do it
mural.
yourself.
It's
16 to 24, if it is 26, 16, 24, I think the age
oh, it
group.
was 16 to 25. So I'm in that age group, so I could give it a go.
Out of the way, kids. This is a Luke Crump special.
Yeah,
I think we could
yeah.
do a mural by you, though. I think somewhere in town, because I know you
I'd
said
love
you,
to.
you
Yeah,
didn't grow up in Shrewsbury, but I feel like I think what's the best way to describe this? I think Shrewsbury fell in love with you. I think, and I've seen a lot about you in Shrewsbury, and I don't know. I
well,
think there's a
yeah.
connection there, a very
I've
important one.
really enjoyed living in Shrewsbury. I was only there for 2 years, but yeah, I met so many great people, and it's just got everything, hasn't it? And yeah, I wish I'd been because I've only really been doing this kind of art thing seriously, maybe 1.5 years. Like I was doing kind of commissions, my own things, but
Yeah,
alongside working at a local kind of supermarket. And yeah, if I'd maybe have just put in a bit more, but you know what it's like. You come back and you just don't want to do anything apart from getting your pajamas and
yeah,
slub around.
yeah. Today is the only
So
day this week I am not recording, and yet I'm still tonight. I mean tonight, as in
yeah,
and so tonight I'm gonna probably phone the Xbox, sit there for about 3 or 4 hours. Don't do that very often. That's what's happening tonight. I'm not doing anything.
yeah.
Okay, you've got to have that time. You've got to have that time. Um,
You do. Yeah. No, I'd love to do it. If anyone's got a big wall that needs something interesting and unique, then yeah, get in touch. I'm always
yeah.
happy to, yeah, work alongside anyone.
And I was talking to Lucy Paul, who came on our show a while ago. Young girl, wants to be a writer, and she wrote to me and she was
Mhm.
like, "I've got an article I want to share. Um, where's a good place to go?" And I straight away said Katie Rink. Katie Rink is
Yeah.
she's perfect at what she does. What she does at Katie Rink and the guys at My Shrewsbury is they hone in on local talent and they give it a place to flourish. Okay.
Hmm.
And that's happened with many people, whether it's Tap FB, with the article writers, whether it was me. I mean, she's put an article in there, a little thing. I was like, can you just please? And she was like, yeah, okay. And so she let me do something and she put your
Yeah. No,
cover in.
she's great. Yeah. Yeah. The cover was a great opportunity. I was quite out of the blue to get a message, and she's already said, yeah, it's gone down well. We'd like to get you on board for a few more. So yeah, yeah. And she's also, supported me, purchased a few t-shirts, which I also sell. Shameless plug, but
Oh, please plug
the
away. I want people to buy your stuff,
yeah,
I,
yeah. I'll run through a few places. Oh, I've got a website, obviously, and I'm Googleable. If you just search Luke Crump, I'm on Instagram, and there's a commission form on my website if you are interested in getting me to create
I'm going
something
to look for it now.
bespoke. Yeah, have a
Because
look.
when we start earning a bit more money as a show, which is coming very soon, I hope.
Yes,
Uh,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
we will. I would love to commission you to doodle us a logo or something like that. I keep saying that, but we're still waiting for the bank stuff to come through. So when we become like have money, I'd love to commission you to do something. I remember your website actually. It's such a good website. I remember that guitar. I held that guitar.
You did hold the guitar, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And thanks for the comments on the website, because that's again something I've built myself. So it's again, the graphic design element is coming in there, but yeah, there's links to t-shirts and jumpers and hoodies on there, and I'm hoping to get a few more things like people want phone cases and stickers, but yeah, I just like to add everything's kind of plastic free. I've been quite with the environment, quite
Good.
conscious about having environmentally friendly inks for my prints and things like that.
That's the way
Using
forward. That's the way
Yeah,
forward.
using recyclable packaging, stuff like that.
Well, we went for this thing. I mean, I was using Vistaprint for a lot when I first started because I was cheap, right? I was cheap and I had no money, so I was
Yes.
like,
Yeah.
business cards, Vistaprint. But then I felt really terrible about that because I'm a Shrewsbury Biscuit, right? I'm the biscuit guy, so I need to look for local people, and I did, and I've sourced out like people that can make T-shirts, and I'm not wearing it. Oh, here you go. There's one of them. I like to do that, support local businesses, but at the same time, I feel like the ethical sort of plastic-free environmental thing. For me, it came sort of like afterwards when I can probably spend a bit more, look after your environment.
Yeah.
But I think it's a really good message. So thanks for sort of sharing that.
Yeah, it's a theme I do sometimes kind of subtly hide in the pieces. There's a massive movement at the moment. I don't know if you've heard of them. NFTs. They're like
No.
it's a bit like artwork, cryptocurrency. So you upload a file. It's a bit strange. I'm still trying to get my head around it, but I've been seeing loads about it recently. You upload a file to like a one of these websites. I think it stands for non-fungible token, and the idea is it goes to this kind of blockchain thing, and it basically can be purchased for, and they're going for insane amounts, like thousands of like hundreds of thousands of dollars. People are buying these digital artworks.
Wow.
And I was obviously interested, as I should be. It's a crazy idea. So I looked into it more, and it's mad. The energy used to get these files onto the whatever computer.
Yeah.
To upload to these sites. It uses something like a year's worth of energy for that someone use, or like flying 500 hours or driving around the world. It's
Wow.
Yeah, a lot of artists that I follow just didn't realize, and now obviously they're coming out and saying, geez, I didn't realize how much electricity it used to get these digital artworks on the I mean, I'm not going to talk about it too much because I'm
I understand though. I understand what it means. I know what it means as well for an artist to be able to supply something that's unique to someone that really, 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 really wants it, right? Okay, so if you can do that, make a bit of money and save energy, and for all the right cause, then that's fantastic. So what's the future hold for you, Luke? Where do you want to go with this? What's the
future?
What's the plan? Yeah, the future. Where do you want to go with this? Are you happy doing this? Have you got aspirations to move on to other things? What's the big goal there?
Well, I would really like to, as we say, do a few kind of more public artworks to kind of get myself out there a bit more. It's all very well getting these numbers on Instagram and everything, but you don't get that really human feedback of people saying, wow, look at that. That's what I really enjoyed about the cartoon festival, was getting the human touch. So I'd like to do more murals. It would be great if I could travel around and see where my work's ended up. And I was, again, before lockdown, a guy in France was like, oh, I own this shop that sells socks. Can you come and do some murals on our windows? I was obviously keen for that, but that didn't happen. So I would it's a strange one, because if you're, say, a lawyer or a doctor or something more focused, you kind of know almost where your path's going. But an artist, I mean, I could get a message tomorrow from someone saying, we'll have you, can you make kind of, a gallery show would also be great. I've never really had an exhibition. It'd be a lot of work, but it would be brilliant. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I know we're running out of time. I got one last question for you though. I'm friends with a world famous artist called Eric Faluga. He's an amazing guy. He doesn't mind me saying it. He's autistic. He has a few issues. But one of the things that he and a lot of other artists I see agree with is his relationship with his art is he puts a lot of love into something, he spends a lot of time making it, and then instantly hates it, right? Because that's just that's the life of an artist. You make it, you create it, you hate it, you sell it, or whatever. What's your relationship like with your art?
Yeah, it's actually quite positive. Actually, I do obviously have the moments when something's not finished, or it's like kind of halfway done. You think, "Geez, what am I doing with my life? Like, why am I just spending so many hours on this thing that what's the point? I could be being, I could be, I don't know, say a doctor or something more useful. Been
Yeah.
like, I don't know.
Art is useful, man.
Art is useful. Yeah, I suppose it is brightens up the world, doesn't it? The love-hate relationship's definitely there. There are moments where I just put a piece in a drawer or just forget about it. With a fresh pair of eyes, it normally saves itself. Or start something else. But generally, I just try and finish things. So it's maybe a good metaphor for anything, really. Just try and finish what you start. It's important.
Well, Luke, I think you are a very positive image for any young artist that wants to go out there and do something like what you're doing. I think you've got a great model with these T-shirts, this website, these things that you're doing, these relationships that you're building with people around the world. It's very, very impressive, I got to say. And I love chatting to you. I'd love to invite you on my USUC show, actually, because I think my American co-host I'd love to talk about the connection between you and California. I think that's really important.
Oh, I'm down for that. Yeah.
Because I feel like everybody needs to hear your story and kind of what you're doing, because there might be kids out there that, maybe 15, 16 that kind of like drawing, but probably a bit embarrassed to sort of show people that.
Yeah.
Exists.
Yeah. No, it does. Yeah. You can draw and you can, make some friends and a bit of money along the way. But yeah, it's, if anyone obviously has any questions, I'm more than happy to help out, answer, or give some direction. I mean, I'm learning myself every day. I'm no means an expert. I'm always getting advice from others. But it's just helping other people, and that's what it's about. So thanks really much for having me. And have
you got any more plugs before we get out of here? No, you got to run off.
Any more plugs? There's one in my bath. I'll tell you to my dad there. No, just keep doing what you're doing, and hopefully, next time we'll be able to maybe meet up if you can.
We plan to do
such a thing, yeah. But as I say, for me, and I really enjoyed it.
It's been nice chatting to you. Right, guys, before Luke goes, make sure you check out our website, which is the Shrewsbury Biscuit podcast.co.uk, made for us by our friends at Web Orchard. I'm not clever like Luke. I can't build my own website. I have to get someone to make it for me. But Luke, if you do want a website, the guys at Web Orchard will look after you, and they make something as good as looking as ours. But thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much, Luke. And we will catch you guys next time. Thank you very much for listening.
See you.
Peace out, guys.